Hello guys, it's Ryan Ho back with another video. Today I want to talk about the Intuaura SplendorII. Now this is an IEM that really makes you feel the music. This thing has what we call a lot of dynamics, but essentially not only can you hear the music, you can actually feel the music. I think there's a big difference between that. And I kind of always equate this to like if you're watching like Star Wars in a movie theater and a big ship flies past you and you can feel it rumble, you can feel the sound in the movie theater as if the ship is flying past you. That's the same type of effect that this IEM has. I feel like a lot of times when it comes to IEMs, they have a lot of different driver types, so they'll have like these kind of hybrid IEMs. But essentially, the dynamic driver is always the one that plays all the kind of hard-hitting bass. A lot of times it gives you that fun factor, that kind of feeling of the air is moving. And for this, it only has a single dynamic driver playing all the music. However, this dynamic driver, they equate it to almost like a beryllium type of driver. So they're trying to say that it is, a very hard, sturdy substance that has more detail than a standard type of dynamic driver. I did find that. But the other interesting thing is that this whole entire driver is very dynamic across all the frequencies, not just the bass and the mid-range, versus a lot of these kind of hybrid type of drivers that have what they call BA drivers, those little small drivers. Those tend to just not move much air. You don't really feel the music. You hear the music, it's very detailed, but you don't feel it. Versus on this one, I feel like it just makes a lot of like modern genres that have a lot of bass, a lot of instruments. They give like a weight and a note weight to everything, and you can just feel everything. And it makes you just more immersed in your music versus the other IAMs on this table. So also I want to mention the Splendor was actually sent out by Linsol. So if you guys are interested in this IAM and purchasing and supporting my channel, then I will have affiliate links down below if you guys are actually interested. If you're not, it's fine. So we can take a closer look at the Intuaura Splendor. It has the kind of logo right here, the view, and then it's honestly a really pretty looking IEM. I mean, just look at that kind of shell. It's this nice purple with this kind of gold kind of aesthetic going through it, and it's kind of like mixing together. It's a very unique one, and I really do dig the way it looks. It honestly looks and feels premium, so that's something I really like about it. And if you look at the cable it comes with, the cable is actually a little bit, I guess, thick and tall. Something I did notice about it is like if you compare it to another IEM side by side, you can see how it is just a little taller, and it gives the loop a little bit of a, I guess, greater angle, something that I noticed as it goes around your ear. When it comes to kind of the comfort of this thing is honestly really comfortable. It's not really that big in your ear, so it fits really well. So I had no kind of issues with the fit. And then the tips it comes with is a variety of different tips. Now this is the kind of white clear one. They come with a whole entire kind of case of them, and they all have different kind of sound properties to them. But personally, I like using the smallest version of this. I found the sound to sound the best for me. I get the best light vocals, best bass, and everything sounds most natural with the kind of clear small tips. When I was using the thicker tips, I felt like the sound wasn't as, the mid-range didn't come out as much, as well as I noticed that the imaging was also not as good. I felt like the earbud was a little bit too far away. So the smaller one really got it to lock in better, and it actually helped the imaging. Now, so I really do recommend this one. Now, these white kind of thicker tips, these tend to kind of cut out the treble a lot, so you won't get much air frequencies. So they won't sound as airy. So I don't know, it sounds a little dark for me, so I don't really recommend these as much. But if you don't like that much treble, then you might like this sound. So overall, I found the comfort of this really good, simply because the size is smaller, and yeah, it's pretty comfortable. The cable, on the other hand, I would say it's a little bit heavy. It's really thick. It's a very nice cable, but it's a little heavy, so you do kind of feel it on your ears a little bit. And honestly, this kind of termination looks really nice, but of course it's kind of thick and heavy, like I said. So it actually comes with what they call a DSP cable. So you can actually plug this in analog if you want to, straight in, or you can actually plug it into this DSP cable and then plug it into your phone or your computer, and it'll kind of correct the tuning. Now, we'll talk about that further when we talk about sound. So it has a single dynamic driver, right? And I feel like I always talk about how hybrid IEMs sound really good because they have 3 different drivers, and they're able to like tune the drivers really well, and they can like kind of choose which drivers do what what they want and kind of tune each one. And they kind of have to like, sync all of the drivers together to make sure they play the music cohesively, versus a single driver really doesn't have that same issue. It plays all the music kind of cohesively automatically. However, the driver does, have a harder time for tuning. At least for me, I feel like the tuning of this was actually really good. I feel like the GSP cable was almost kind of included just because it's kind of the new hype around now. Like a lot of kind of IEMs are coming out with DSP cables and everyone wants them. So I feel like they added it on after the fact, but the actual normal tuning of this is honestly really, really good. So how does it sound, right? So this is what I would say pretty much a V-shaped type of sound. So you have a boosted bass and then the treble is a little boosted, but it's not really that boosted in treble in my opinion. It's mostly like a warm kind of bassy type of sound in my opinion. That's what it really sounds like in stock form. And the mid-range is just slightly like kicked back a little bit. It's not that far away, but you definitely have a little bit of kind of the upper mid-range. So a lot of like your female vocals will just sound just slightly laid back, and parts of your male vocals will also sound a little bit laid back. So that type of sound is honestly really fun sounding for a lot of like EDM rap. And, I think if you like listening to those like more heavier modern genres, you're really gonna like this because the bass on this goes really deep in sub bass. You get a lot of mid bass. It's very, very fun sounding. And then, like I said, the dynamics, you can like feel the sound like move. It's really, really crazy how well you can kind of hear the sound and the air move. It really is just like a very immersive experience. So that's definitely the star of the show, but that also extends to like the mid range, right? So a lot of the singers, you just like, you can like hear them and like you almost like feel the room around them. And it just gives everything a more, I guess, realistic type of feeling. That's something I really do enjoy about this. And then the trouble with this is just very well extended. Like, I feel like this driver is honestly super impressive what they were able to achieve, because when I was getting this for review, I was like, oh, it's just a single dynamic driver. Like, is it really going to be special at all? And I was totally wrong. This single dynamic driver is honestly has some really good detail, really good separation. The soundstage is actually really tall. Thing is, when you have a lot of things playing, it definitely separates everything really well. So you're getting a lot of really good not only soundstage but imaging as well too, because when I'm playing games as well as when I played Valorant, this imaging is like honestly really good. I give it like 8.5 out of 10, 9 out of 10. It really is all you need. I would feel like maybe the bass itself is maybe a lot for like an FPS game, because a lot of your guns sound really thick because there's a lot of bass, but it's a really fun sounding thing, and I could like feel and hear my footsteps a lot too. So I feel like it just really made the whole entire gaming experience a lot more fun. So I definitely recommend this for gaming if you're really into that as well. Really, the driver, I compared it to other things on this table. So the Moondrop Aria 2, it's also a single dynamic driver as well. And in comparison, you definitely hear just how much better the Splendor 2 is. Like across the board, its soundstage is bigger, the imaging is better, the bass and the dynamics are better as well. The only place, and the treble is also better. The only place that I would say the Aria 2 was better, just maybe the mid-range tuning just came out a little bit more forward. So if you like vocals, it popped out just a little more on the Aria 2, but in all other aspects, the Splendor 2 kind of kicks its butt. But you would kind of expect that because this is $90 and this is like $260. But that's an interesting point. If you do a comparison to the Kiwi Ears Quintet, it's kind of the same price point. Honestly, when I first heard it, I thought I would like the Quintet more than the Splendor 2. But after actually comparing them side by side, like the Splendor 2 just makes the Kiwi Ears sound kind of small in comparison. The soundstage on this thing is clearly bigger and taller. The dynamics of this thing is just much better as well across the board. So I'm just having a much more engaging experience with the Splendor 2. But I do think the Quintet does have a lot of detail. It does shine, and because it has that like 5 driver design, it does separate really well. But I do just find myself liking the Splendor in the sense of just that much more bass, that much more engaging, much more fun type of sound. I really do kind of lean towards the Splendor 2, but they're both really good for their different type of sound. Really, the other thing that I wanted to really talk about is the DSP cable, right? So with this cable, Like I said, it's literally the hype. Everyone wants one of these nowadays. I really don't care for them that much, to be honest. And after using it here, it kind of reinforces it. Like this thing actually works really well. Like I think it quote quote fixes it, as in it gives it more mid-range and it kind of tones down the bass and it tones down well, I wouldn't say it changes the treble as much, but it kind of boosts it and makes it a little bit more balanced across the frequencies. I just find that like I actually like the default bass tuning. It's just really fun. It kind of makes it a lot less fun sounding. And then it just makes it sound more balanced if that's what you're looking for. But for me, there's two, I guess, issues with it that aren't big, but you know, when I plug it into my phone, I can definitely hear the noise floor on this little dongle. So, you know, you can hear just a little bit of like static hiss. It's very small, but you can hear it. And then the second thing is that the quality of this USB dongle is, you know, pretty cheap, honestly. It sounds like something that's made for like, you know, $20, $30 for sure. And, you know, something like this Hydis S8 Pro Robin, like it completely just outclasses it. Like you just have much better separation in your sounds just go higher. You know, having your own DAC amp really does make, I think, the Splendor 2 shine more than just this DSP cable. I feel like this DSP cable does, you know, actually make the tuning better, but then it also kind of caps it a little bit too, since the DAC amp quality isn't as good as other stuff I have personally. Now, this is a very kind of hardcore audiophile nerd type of stuff. If you really, you know, don't have any DAC amps and this is the only thing you had, I think you'll really like it as well. But it's just because I'm a little bit more hardcore and I have my own type of gear that I like to use. So I do actually prefer to use it without the DSP cable. So that's just me personally. But really, where does this lead us in the conclusion? I feel like this really is a dynamic, fun sounding thing if I haven't said that enough. I definitely recommend this if you really, really like an engaging, fun sound. This is really the thing that I feel like I haven't heard anything sound as dynamic as this thing. It just moves a lot of air, and that's really just a highlight feature and really where I think I'm gonna end this review. If you want fun sound, definitely pick this up. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You guys can go to Linsol to pick this up. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys in the next one.